Kentucky picked up a 77-72 win in a thriller over Duke. Let's break down some of the film on how the Wildcats were able to do it. Now, starting with Kentucky, you have to talk about three-point shooting, you have to talk about ball movement. Kentucky was 10 of 25 from 40%. They also had 17 assists on 25 of their makes, which is a very, very good assist rate, 68%. We're going to start with a couple threes and how Kentucky was able to, really in that first half, Duke controlled, I think, a lot of it, but Kentucky was able to stay in the game, especially with their three-point shooting. This is just going to be a very simple empty-sided pick and roll. You're going to notice Malawach is up here. He is guarding Williams, who is spaced out up at the top. Williams not really a threat as a shooter, but we'll talk about why that's important in half a second. So empty corner means there's nobody in the strong side corner. OH does a good job of kind of engaging Flag, where this might be a switch for Duke probably, and Knippel is going to rotate out, but that doesn't happen. Flag's going to stay with, and now Flag has to rotate out. And the reason I talk about why Malawach having to guard up here is important because Flag feels probably more like he has to help protect the rim, right? Where Malawach isn't in the greatest position to help protect the rim. And now Flag's going to be a half step late rotating out. And Andrew Carr had a very, very good game, willing and able to knock down a couple threes. We'll talk about him more later. We talk about ball movement and sets, and so this is going to start with motion strong, which is that double staggered pin down, immediately followed by just another ball screen right there to get to Bria. Now Bria can catch and shoot this, he can drive, but at the same time, sometimes plays break down and it's what can you do from there. And Kentucky has dudes that can just go get a bucket and go get their shot. And that's exactly what happens here for Kobe Brea. He's just able to hit the step back over Knippel and just knock it down. And sometimes, even if your sets are great, your ball movement is great, you just kind of have to have a guy that can go do something like that. Another example here, we're going to talk about with the ball movement and the assist rates and all of that. So Kentucky pushes, nothing really happens. Okay, now let's get into our flow. I want to take note of this because we're going to talk about this later in the video as well, towards right at the end of the game. This is essentially setting up zoom action, which is a pin down into a handoff up here. Duke is switching at least four ways, maybe not with Malawach, but everything else they are switching. Butler knows this, and so he just hits Proctor and immediately slips. And now with Malawach having to guard the ball, he's pulled away from the rim. Flag guarding OA up here, he's pulled away from the rim. And there's no real rim protector for Duke, and so now they're able to get that layup. Duke, I thought, played really well, especially in that first half, though. 1.243 points per possession, and a lot of it was just simply making good plays, having good angles, and having a guy named Cooper Flag also does help. Get the switch right here in the pick and roll, and this was a lot of what Duke wanted to do. Get the matchup, and now go attack. Brea, not the best matchup for Flag in terms of being able to defend him, and Flag just goes right at him. You're going to see Malawach in the dunker spot. And so Amari Williams isn't in the best position to protect the rim. Flag's able to go up over the top. Very simple offense, but it was a very effective offense as well, especially with what Kentucky, I think, at times being a bit out of position. Duke also relied on another freshman, Knippel. And so you're going to see this kind of L cut here, comes off of the Gillis screen, and then immediately Malawach up top. Now with this, Knippel could catch and just rip, or he could catch and shoot, or like right here, it's going to be a pick and roll. Now, you're going to see Kentucky in drop coverage, meaning they're going to have their big kind of step back. Knippel does a great job keeping Brea kind of on his hip. And once again, with Malawach rolling, Kentucky's kind of lost with this Garrison right here of being able to fully protect the rim. You have to respect Malawach, and that just kind of opens up the driving lane, I think, a bit. And it probably wasn't quite there as much in that second half. We're going to look at example, right? Very first play of the second half. Now you're going to see with Malawach screening Flag, this is going to be a switch between the 4 and the 5, between Williams and Carr. And from here, it's a one-on-one ISO. And Flag can make this. He made plenty of these shots. We'll talk about one even in a minute. But it still is tougher now with the 5 switched on. With Amari Williams, you have way more length on him now. So now when he gets downhill, instead of getting to the rim or getting to a floater, he has to go to this fadeaway. And it's just little things like that. I think Kentucky did a better job of being in the right position defensively, especially really from the tip the second half. Duke averaged in that second half 0.765 points per possession. First half, like I said, 1.243. That is a very, very big difference. Right here, next play, Spain pick and roll, which is a back screen for the screener right here. Duke does a pretty good job with it, getting Knipple to slip out. You're going to see right here OA get hit a bit. And now he's able to recover enough where, this isn't the absolute cleanest look, but at the same time, there is part of Knipple was 1 for 8. Duke was 4 for 23 from 3. Like, they missed some shots that were wide open. And OA was able to get back a little bit, but there was definitely some shooting, I'm called shooting variance. But I think also just in the second half, Kentucky was able to push on Duke harder, which tired out Duke a little bit more. And that also forces open shots to be more likely to be missed. In the second half, one thing Kentucky did really, really well. I mean, they did well in the first half, but I thought it was emphasized even a little bit more in the second half, was push the ball. So this is going to be after a make right here. And look how fast this ball gets up. One dribble, pass, across half court. Ball is crossed in 1 second flat. Now you have Malawach, I believe. He was down on the floor right here after making the bucket. And now Kentucky just has the advantage. The ball is basically at the 3-point line within 2 seconds. It is inside at the 15-foot mark in 2 seconds. 28 seconds left on the shot clock. Duke is completely out of position. And now Kentucky is just able to get a free 2 points just by simply playing fast, playing efficient. I mean, if we look back at this entire play, right? You're going to see one dribble, pass, one dribble, pass, and that's it. So 2 dribbles, 2 passes, and a bucket. Like that's as simple as you can get. Here, we're going to talk about late game, really Carr's ability to help stretch the floor. This one, he is not specifically at the 5, Amari Williams is, but still just his ability is a big, big factor. Duke also played smaller, and at this point with some injuries and things like that they had to deal with, now they're switching everything. And so you're going to see Proctor right here switched onto Amari Williams. And now as soon as that happens, Kentucky is just looking to get him the ball. Okay, boom. He gets it here. You're going to see Flag is guarding Carr. Carr's going to flash. Nothing happens. Now Carr's going to kind of float out. Flag has to help protect the rim. He is the primary rim protector right here. You do not want to leave Proctor one-on-one. But now with Carr, he's already hit a couple this game from 3. Flag sells out. Carr does a great job getting the pump fake. And now is able to drive, finish through contact for the and one. A big, big time play right there from Carr to help even up the score. So the last couple plays I want to talk about is late game execution. For Duke, it was not great. It was a lot of just simply ISO or one pick and roll and attack. A lot of what they did, but like I said before, at this point, I think Kentucky was able to really wear them down. And it just makes it that much tougher when you're focusing on 1 or 2 guys just trying to create an advantage out of nothing. With that being said, Cooper Flag is still really, really good. 26 points, 12 rebounds, and that's exactly what he does here. So this is kind of just often offensive rebounds or loose ball, and Flag's just simply going to go one-on-one, go into the body of Carr. That's really, really good body control right there of being, I mean, Carr is 6'11", lanky. Flag is still just able to get this ball up, and then also has the great touch to follow that hung on the rim for what felt like 10 seconds, but that was a really, really good play there. I think Kentucky also late game really, really executed well. This is with Carr at the 5, and that poses some interesting things. Remember in the third play when I said, hey, take note of this zoom action and the slip? Well, it comes back right now. Now with Carr at the 5, you definitely have to respect him out on the perimeter. That is going to draw Malawach out from the rim. Again, this zoom action right here, which is they pin down into a handoff. Duke gets confused. Are we switching this? Are we not? There's no actual contact made, and oftentimes you switch on contact. With OA slipping this, really, really smart play. I mean, really smart play and just really not great defense from Duke to go to the ball. Malawach is out of position, and Kentucky consistently had Flag kind of be at this nail instead of at this low man, right? Where if Flag is here in this low man spot, he probably has a better chance of really rotating over. Just longer distance to cover. And now with 2:40 left to go up 2, Kentucky has one of their easiest shots of the entire night. And that is a big, big thing to have, especially that late in the game. I think Kentucky's 5 out executed well, and a lot of just their offense in general. Now, the last play that'll probably be talked about a lot, or one of the last 2 plays. So this is tie game, 20 seconds left. And what you're going to see is 3 straight ghost screens, where a ghost screen is you don't actually set the screen, you fake it and just kind of fill through. 1, 2, and now here's the third from Knipple. Now what this does do is this opens up a driving lane. I don't love it going left for Flag. I feel like if you are going to run this, why not have the ghost screeners fill out this way? Just basically flip the floor, right? And now you can get Flag going to his right. But from here, it's just one-on-one. And Flag is trying to, I think, get into the post-up. Carr does a good job bodying up. And now Oweh's able to kind of get in, and it was a little bit of a loose ball. Rip it 3 from Flag right there. And then he's going to get fouled, knock down a couple free throws to put Kentucky up and ice the game. So really, really impressive stuff from Kentucky to be able to kind of grind this game out where it felt like for a large part of it, Duke should have put it away, but Kentucky kind of winning the math game with how many threes they made, getting some free throws, tightening up defensively, really allowed them to win. So if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Going to have a ton of college basketball film breakdowns out throughout the season.